Hey guys, good morning. It's me again. We are doing today 11.7. It's called integer operations, but really it's order of operations. And this is going to be the last section of the chapter that we do before the test. Okay? So let's get started on this. Please make sure that you are studying your IXL and doing all of that. I believe your IXL is due Monday. I think I've got order of operations on there. I'm pretty sure I do. I've got it, I know, on the proto page. So that's what we're doing today. And I know a lot of y'all, I've been talking to some of you, and y'all really need to practice that order of operation a lot. Okay, remember the test is Wednesday. I expect you guys to not use calculators. Okay? Okay, this is a Christian school. You need to make sure that nobody is making bad choices on this test. You are to do it by yourself. Okay? As much as I know some of your parents want to help, you need to do this on your own. Okay? All right? Honesty is best policy, especially in the school that you're going to. Christian school, hint, hint. So no calculators and no help. You need to do this on your own, okay? It's the only way you're going to survive next year, just so y'all know. Those of you that are, coming back and wanting to take pre-algebra, you got to know how to do this stuff. Trust me when I tell you. All right, so make sure you study for this. 11.7. Integer operations. All right, here we go. Order of operations is what it's called. Okay, so I know y'all have done this before, but here's what's really funny. And your parents know what I'm talking about. They're on social media. Some of y'all are not on social media, which is a good thing. Those of you that are, and especially your parents, will know what I'm talking about. People are always posting these math problems that look like what you're doing today, and they'll say only a genius can figure it out or answer the question, find the right answer. And it's funny because I don't consider it a genius that can figure it out. Typically, just so y'all know, 9 times out of 10, the adults are getting it wrong on social media. And the 6th graders, that's right, 6th graders, I've watched. It's like the 6th graders, the 7th graders, sometimes even 8th graders, but 6th graders rock at this stuff. Even if you're struggling with this, trust me when I tell you, that show or that game, I'm Not Smarter or Smarter Than a 5th Grader. Well, typically 6th graders, even if you struggle with this stuff, you're doing better than most adults in the nation right now. I can tell you. One reason, it's not because they're not smart, but it is because it's been years since they've done order of operations. And my students and students across the whole nation and world that are doing this, they rock at it. They make the adults look real silly on social media when they're these kids that are going on there with the correct answers. I always applaud those kids. So y'all are going to get this, and then y'all can outsmart your parents and all the other adults in the world. Okay, first step. Do all the operations inside the grouping symbols first. Step 2. When they say grouping symbols, they're referring to like parentheses, brackets. Sometimes, and I don't know how many of your problems are going to do that, but yeah, they do it. They do it. Absolute value. Okay, remember the absolute value that y'all did? Those are all considered the grouping symbols right there. Okay, so that's what they're saying. You got to work inside them first. All right, step 2, do all the multiplication and division in order from left to right. Okay, so after you've worked everything inside the grouping symbols, then you start following these rules right here. Even inside the grouping things, you have to follow 2 and 3. 2 and 3. You do all the multiplication division first before you do adding and subtracting, and you work left to right. You don't just do multiplication first and then division. That is a misconception. A lot of kids get confused on that. They think they need to do multiplication first and then the division just because it's always written first. Like PEMDAS and GEMDAS and all that stuff, they always have the M first, so they think, oh, I got to do multiplication first. Not necessarily. It doesn't matter as long as you work left to right. That's what's important. It could be division that comes first, or it could be multiplication, but you work left to right. And that is a strict rule. All right, and then number 3, step 3, do all the addition and subtraction. Whoops, subtractions in order, again, from left to right. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's adding or subtracting that comes first, but you must always work left to right. Okay, so I'm going to do a ton of examples prior to your work, okay? I'm not going to do examples from your actual work because they're all about the same, all right? So let's do the first example. It says evaluate, okay? That means get an answer. And that's another thing. Sometimes I say simplify, sometimes I say solve, evaluate. What they're saying is get an answer. So just get an answer. 18 minus 12 divided by -4. Okay, so we say work inside the parentheses first. Well, there's parentheses, but there's no work to be done inside those parentheses because that's just denoting or stating that that's a -4. If there's no work to be done, then that's just stating it's a -4, so you move on to the next step. The next step is multiplication division. I have subtraction here, and I have division here. Which do you think comes first? That's right, division comes first. So see how I'm crossing out or covering up the other? You can too, because it helps with the eyes to focus. Instead of focusing on a bunch of that stuff, you're focusing on just the one part of the problem that you need to focus on. Okay? Trust me, when you get into some of these other, like even in 7th grade, some of them get really long. Algebra 1, y'all, I just got to tell you. Algebra 1, the problem will take up like the entire width of the page. And then you're working and it takes up the entire page. If you make one mistake somewhere in the middle, your answer is wrong. And I have students always sending me pictures of all their page-long work. Miss Rogers, can you find my mistake? Oh my word, y'all. So doing it step by step and being very careful will be helpful. Okay, so we're going to cover this up. 12 divided by -4, what do you get? It's a positive divided by a negative, so you definitely get -3, right? All right, so I'm going to put that in parentheses, and you'll see why. I'm rewriting my problem. See that part that I had, covered up? I'm rewriting it. Oh my goodness, what do we have here? A negative in front of a negative. What happens when we have a negative in front of a negative? positive. So I'm changing this to a positive. So then 18 plus 3, 21. Okay? All right, let's do another. Now, after a couple of these, I want y'all, I'm not going to keep saying pause video, but after a couple of these, when y'all start, feeling a little confident, I want y'all to start pausing the video after I write it down, working it, and then coming back to see if you got it correct. And then you can, if you did, then you move on to the next problem. If not, you can look back and see what you did wrong. -6 plus parentheses 9 minus 4 in parentheses times -3. Okay, let's talk about that. We have a group here inside the parentheses. We have a plus sign. So we have a group, a plus sign, and oh my, when two things are right next to each other, this is not saying subtract 3. This right here, when we have it right next to each other, that is multiplication, guys. Be very careful with that, okay? So we have a plus, a group, and multiplication. Which do we do first? We do the group first. So what is 9 minus 4? That's right, you get 5. I'm rewriting my problem. Notice I'm keeping the parentheses here, because if I took those parentheses off, that would be 5 minus 3. And that's why, whoops, let me finish this. That's why it's important, and I do this all the time. I write down this right here so I do not forget that this is multiplication. So now I have multiplication and adding. Which do I do first? The -6 plus 5 or the 5 times -3? You do multiplication first. All right, so 5 times -3, that's -15. I'm putting that parentheses, and I'm rewriting my problem. You need to make sure you go very slow and steady so that you don't miss anything. So now I can do -6 plus -15. The signs are the same. So we add and keep the sign. -6 plus -15 is -21. And remember what I said, guys. I know that these positives and negatives make you, especially when you're adding and subtracting. They're going to make you crazy next year. They're going to make you crazy in 8th grade, 9th grade, etc. They are tricky. Okay, so if you're struggling with this or you're getting headaches or something from it, it's okay. It's understandable. This is new stuff for y'all. All right, here's another example. 8 times 3 minus -10 divided by 5. Okay, let's talk about this. We have a multiplication, subtraction, and a division. Okay? We also have a negative in front of a negative. What happens when we have a negative in front of a negative? Negative in front of a negative, turn to a positive. So let's go ahead and fix that. 8 times 3 plus 10 divided by 5. Yeah, you can do that. All right, now we have a multiplication, an adding, and a dividing. What do you think goes first? Okay, the multiplication and the division will go before the plus. But we work left to right, so we're doing this one first. 8 times 3 is 24. I'm rewriting my problem. Okay, the next thing we do is going to be division because it comes before adding. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. Rewriting my problem. So now I have 24 plus 2. That would give me 26. Okay? Let's do 5 minus 14 divided by 3 times 2 minus 6. Okay, we got a lot of stuff going on. We have a group here. There's a group. Here's a group. I have a division sign. And look, this 3 is right next to that parenthesis. So what operation is taking place there that we don't want to forget? Multiplication. That's right. So see, I'm marking up my problem here so that I know what I'm doing and I don't make a mistake later. So the first thing we need to do, step 1, is work inside the parentheses. Okay? So we can work inside both of these parentheses. 5 minus 14. Guys, that's a positive 5 and a negative 14. Look at that. Positive 5, negative 14. If you need to, we can rewrite that as 5 plus, well, I'll do it like this. Negative 14 and whatever, brackets. Okay, so make sure you see that that is a negative 14. So when the signs are different, we subtract and take the sign of the larger. So I'm going to go ahead and do inside both of these parentheses. 5 minus 14 is negative 9. Divided by 3 times, what's 2 minus 6? Same thing. It's just like this. That's 2 and a negative 6. So that would be negative 4. It's just like this. You can rewrite it if you need to. All right, here we go. We have a division and we have a multiplication. Now this gets kids all the time too, and adults, by the way. We have a division and a multiplication. Guess what you're supposed to do first? You're supposed to do this division here. Guess what a lot of people do first instead? They multiply these two things. And then they get really mad because they don't understand why they're wrong. It has to do with the parentheses. They just, for some reason, think that they got to do that first. But you have to notice division, multiplication, you work left to right. So we're going to do this one first. Negative 3 divided by positive 3. Negative 9, divided by positive 3 is negative 3 times negative 4. Okay, now we're multiplying, so negative 3 times negative 4 is a positive 12. Okay? Now that's weird, and I know that 2 minus 6 gets people, but you gotta learn, that's a positive 5, that's a negative 14. That's a positive 2, that's a negative 6. You're gonna start covering those up and getting used to that. Okay, let's do some more. Negative 7, negative 7 plus 3 times 5. All right, we've got a plus sign and a multiplication sign. Which do we do first? We're going to do the multiplication. 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, I have a negative 7 and a positive 15. When the signs are different, we subtract and take the sign of the largest digit. So 15 minus 7 is 8. And since 15 is the largest digit and it's positive 8. All right. Y'all should be by now pausing these videos after I write down the problem. So negative 6 plus 2 inside parentheses divided by 4. Okay, you should be pausing. All right, so we're going to work inside the parentheses first. Even though that's a division sign and this is a plus sign, you do the groups first. So negative 6 and positive 2. Those are two different signs, so we subtract and take the sign of the largest digit. 6 minus 2 is 4. 6 is the largest digit. It's negative, so I have negative 4. And I'm rewriting the rest of my problem. Now I have division. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. So 4 divided by 4 is negative 1. Negative divided by a positive. Remember, they're different signs. The answer is always negative. All right, example. Negative 36 divided by negative 6 in parentheses times 2. All right, what do we do first? We're doing the division first. We have a division and a multiplication. So 36, negative 36 divided by negative 6. What would that be? Negative divided by negative is a positive. So negative 36 divided by negative 36 is a positive 6. And I'm rewriting my problem. Whoops, I keep doing that. I keep thinking ahead and messing up. 6 times 2, 12. You get the idea. All right, another one. I got 3 more and then I'm setting you free. 27 divided by 3 plus 6 times negative 2. All right, so we have a division, a plus, and look right here, this isn't a subtraction. This 6 is right next to the parentheses, so we have a multiplication. So which do we do first? Definitely not the plus, so it's either division or multiplication. And just because this is next to a parentheses doesn't mean it's first. So we're going to divide first. 27 divided by 3, what would that be? 9. And I'm rewriting my problem. Okay, now, and I would encourage y'all to do what I'm doing here because it does help. Okay, I have a plus and a multiplication. What do I do first? Do that multiplication. So 6 times negative 2, negative 12. All right, I have a positive 9. See that positive 9? Negative 12. Signs are different, so we subtract. 12 minus 9 is 3. And we take the sign of the largest digit. 12 is large, is larger than 9, so it's a negative 3. Okay, 36 divided by bracket negative 3 plus negative 6 in bracket times 2. Okay, y'all ready? I have a division. I have this grouping right here that you're basically adding the two. And then I have multiplication. Just because division and multiplication here doesn't mean that they go first. We got to work the bracket first. So negative 3 and negative 6, when the signs are the same, we add and keep the sign. So that would be negative 9. And I'm rewriting the rest of my problem. See, I brought down that 36 in the division sign and the multiplication in the 2. So now what do? I have a division and multiplication. You work left to right, so we're doing this right here. All right, 36, positive 36, by the way, divided by negative 9. Positive divided by negative is going to get you a negative answer. So 36 divided by negative 9 goes in there 4 times. And then I rewrite my problem. Bring down that times 2. So negative 4 times a positive 2, a negative times a positive gives you a negative 8. Last one. 27 plus 3 times 6 divided by negative 2. All right, I have a plus, a times, and a division. What do you do first? That's right. We're going to do this. This parentheses is just to show that that's a negative 2. There's no work to be done on the inside. So we move on. And this we work left to right. This multiplication is going to be done before that division because it comes first. So 3 times 6 is 18. I'm rewriting my problem. Okay, what do I do now? I have a plus and a division. We do the division first. 18 divided by negative 2. Okay, a positive divided by a negative is always going to be a negative. So that's negative 9. And I'm rewriting my problem. And I have a positive 27 and a negative 9. If you have different signs, you subtract. So 27 minus 9 is 18. And you take the sign of the largest digit. 27 is positive, so 18 is positive. All right, I think we've done enough examples. You are doing page 506, numbers 7, to 16 all. That's only 10 problems. I should do more just because y'all need it, but I'm going to let IXL do all of that, okay? So make sure you practice this stuff, okay? If you feel like you need to do more problems to be able to understand this, because it's going to be on your test, then contact me and I'll give you the answers to any of the other problems on there. Don't worry about the square root ones, okay? Y'all are 6th graders, and this is a 7th grade book, so I don't want to push it with the square root like number 19 and 21. I'm not expecting y'all to do that. No way, Jose. So y'all do these. If you need more to practice, let me know. You also have the IXL link, okay? All right, this will be due Monday. Let's not... Y'all need to start on this on Friday and get it done, okay? Those of y'all that are waiting until the day it's due and turning it in the evening, that's not real cool. Y'all need to start doing this when it's assigned, okay? When I say it's due Monday, that typically means it's due that day, like at a normal time. But because of the fact that this is social distancing, I'm letting it go. But if you're turning it in like 9, 10 o'clock, that's too late. Okay, so we need to get it in by at least 8 p.m. or I'm going to start counting these things as late. Got it? I'm giving y'all a lot of time. You have IXL due Monday as well. Your test is Wednesday. Okay, do not forget those things. Got it? All right, if you have any questions or need help, please contact me. I am here for you, even on the weekend, just not late at night. All right, take care.